What's up, guys? Good evening. Are we live? Let me see. Are we live? Yes, we are. What's up, guys? Let me double check over here. Yes, what's up, Mohammed? How are you? What's up, guys? Happy Halloween. Is any of you guys trick or treating tonight? I think that Wednesday afternoon is going to be a horror movie. I am almost convinced about that. So, welcome back. Let's talk about the markets. Let's go over some stocks. This is going to be a very important week for the markets. Obviously, guys, what's up, bro? Happy Halloween. Good FTW. Stayed out of trades. He said today I closed a very solid month of October, guys. Today I closed a swing trade on UNG. I also closed triple Q puts. And I also, what else did I close today? I closed another trade. I had GameStop calls. You guys know that GameStop went on an absolute tear today, out of thin air for the most part. But I got calls like 3 weeks ago. I was expecting a move of GameStop. Yeah, I closed a very solid trading session today. So we are going to have a very important week, guys. Obviously, we are about to we are about to see, to witness the most important Federal Open Market Committee throughout this year. This is going to be extremely important for the markets to decide upon a possible Santa Claus rally because the month of November, which typically is a very positive month for the markets, and even more positive when it comes to a midterm election that is going to be taking place. I think that the midterm election is taking place a week from tomorrow. I think, right? So we have a bunch of positive catalysts from a seasonality standpoint that might be playing out for the bulls in favor of the bulls. However, this is a very tricky year. Obviously, you guys know that we have the highest inflation in 40 years. So I wouldn't be surprised if seasonality doesn't play out as it usually does. And let's say taking into account that, or even taking into account that we are about to have a midterm election, which usually is very positive for the bulls. So today we had a red day across the board, nothing crazy. It wasn't a bloodbath. Russell 2000 pretty much broke even. The Nasdaq went down 1%. The Dow Jones went down 0.39%. Keep in mind, guys, that despite the fact that on October 13, if I remember correctly, we got another very nasty CPI data report. The Dow Jones closed its best month since 1976. Absolutely unbelievable. Actually, the Dow Jones closed today's trading session above the 200-day moving average, which is a major achievement for the bulls. And the Dow just closed its best October ever. Best October ever, believe it or not, even though this country is dealing with the highest inflation in 40 years. So absolutely remarkable for the Dow Jones. We are clearly seeing a rotation from growth-oriented stocks and high-tech stocks into cyclical and defensive stocks, and that obviously helped the Dow Jones a lot. The S&P 500 went down 0.75%. Crude oil went down today 1.95%. We had the Dixie, the US dollar, going up today 0.75%. The Dixie went on an absolute tear today, along with the 10-year Treasury yield. So I think that the bulls did okay because we didn't have a bloodbath unfolding in today's trading session. Gold went lower 0.54%. Silver also went lower 0.19%. And as I just told you, the 10-year Treasury yield, guys, the worst enemy of tech stocks, higher multiple stocks, and growth-oriented stocks. Sorry, growth-oriented stocks went up today 1.67%. This is very bad news for the bulls from a mechanical standpoint. I have told you guys plenty of times that the 10-year Treasury yield is inversely correlated to growth stocks, higher multiple stocks, and tech-oriented stocks. So this is obviously no good news for the bulls at all. If we take a look, guys, at the sectors of the markets, check this out. The only sector that managed to close the trading session in positive territory is energy. It went up 0.84%. But other than energy, the other 10 sectors went lower. And is energy related to inflation, guys? When we are 2 days away from the Federal Open Market Committee, when we are 2 days away from listening to Jerome Powell once again. So is this positive? Is the Federal Reserve taking a look at the energy sector and oil? So what is going to happen if the Fed happens to make a pivot, or if the Fed happens to announce a pause on Wednesday? What is going to happen? The dollar, the Dixie, the US dollar is going to drop, and that is going to push the prices of commodities even higher, which is very bad news inflation wise. So this is something that we are going to talk about in just a second. So the worst performing sector today was communication services. It went down 1.87%. So Meta cannot catch a break, guys. Unbelievable. I think, and if you guys want, I can go over Meta's chart. I might be a buyer at around $88. I think that's the next stop for Meta. So I might be a buyer at around that price, even though we are seeing a very ugly looking chart, no doubt about it. The tech sector went down to the 1.32%, and a sector that has been saving the day for the bulls, healthcare. This is a very important, a very heavy sector inside the Dow Jones. Went lower today, 0.08%. Nothing crazy, nothing to be worried about. If we take a look at the advancers and decliners distribution, today we had 3,116 stocks going higher and 3,478 stocks going lower. And take a look at the Fed futures. And I ask you guys, do you think that Powell is going to make a pivot? That the Fed is ready to make a pivot? Because if that were to happen, guys, the markets are going to go on an absolute tear. So what you guys are seeing over here are the Fed futures. And as of now, the markets are discounting, are fully pricing in a 75 basis point hike on Wednesday. So this is not something that is going to move the markets on Wednesday. So what the markets are going to be expecting, or what the markets are going to be really paying close attention to, is going to be forward guidance. What is the Fed going to be saying, or what is Powell going to say about the rate hike that is going to be carried out in December? If any rate hike happens to be carried out in December, that is going to move the markets. And I don't know why, guys. Most of the analysts out there are talking about a pause. So even though we haven't seen convincing evidence that inflation is coming down or is going lower, the Fed is going to pause in December, and they are going to sit to see what the final effect of the rate hikes that have been carried out so far looks like over the economy in January and February and so forth. I don't think that is going to be the case because we haven't seen, as Powell has said over and over and over and over again, over and over and over and over again, convincing evidence that inflation is going lower. So I don't think that is going to be the case. But if you guys watch CNBC or Bloomberg, that's a case that most analysts are making out there. They might be, maybe they are right. I don't know, but I don't think that Powell is going to compromise his credibility, his institutional credibility, making a mistake that was made back in the 70s when we were dealing, by the way, with very high inflation. So pausing, making a pause, and then letting the rate hikes work over the economy. So I don't think, and Powell has said plenty of times that they are not going to make that mistake that was made back in the 70s. But now the markets out of thin air are talking about a pause. So they believe that the Fed is going to pause in December. I think they are mistaken, and the markets have gone up a lot, guys. Check this out. Let me show you over here the S&P 500. So far we can make the case that the S&P 500 bottomed out back on October 13. So from October 13, which by the way was a day in which we got a very nasty CPI data report, the S&P 500 has gone up 11%. So this is the S&P. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Dow Jones. So what has happened in the case of the Dow Jones? After having seen or after having gotten a very nasty CPI data report. So the Dow Jones is up from October 13, 15%, guys. So what do you guys think is going to happen if Powell happens to announce a pause on Wednesday? The markets are going to go nuts, absolutely nuts. And that is going to imply that we are going to see an ease of financial conditions, which is the very last thing that the Federal Reserve wants to see in order to fight inflation. So I think this is a fantasy. I think that Powell is going to sound very hawkish on Wednesday. That's my personal opinion. I believe so. The Fed doesn't really have much of a choice because inflation is, as of now, still out of control. And some analysts were saying today that since job openings of September went down 2 million, that is some sort of sign that the Federal Reserve is going to announce a pause. However, keep in mind, guys, that on Friday we have the jobs report of October, and we are expecting 190,000 new jobs to have been created in the month of October. So who understands these analysts? So on one hand, job openings went lower in September. Fair enough. But on the other hand, we are expecting the economy to have been able to create 190,000 new jobs during the month of October. So obviously, the labor market isn't weakening, which is one of the main elements that the Fed needs in order to make a pivot or a pause. So none of those known of those elements are as of now on the table. So I am very bearish into the Federal Open Market Committee. I could be mistaken. Maybe Powell is going to sound like a dove. He's going to be dovish, and if that is the case, guys, this thing is going to explode to the upside, no doubt about it. So, my friend Randall kept the Tesla outlook. Let me go over Tesla. Absolutely, not a problem. So, guys, please drop a comment and let me know what stocks do you want me to go over. I am here to help you out with that. So, in the case of Tesla, it went down today 0.43% and it closed the trading session at $227.54. So the Bulls have made an acceptable have been making progress over here on the 4 hour chart. So today they were able to reconquer an important spot at $224. $224 is a previous support back from mid-July, and this is also a previous support back from late February. So I'm thinking, and taking into account that the RSI of Tesla is sitting at 58 points on the 4 hour chart, so Tesla is neither oversold nor overbought. I'm thinking that if the bulls start to consolidate slightly above $224, they might be gathering momentum in order to make another push higher. And maybe, guys, if Tesla happens to go on an absolute term, they might be being able to fill the next important gap. This is a big gap up to $252. $252 happens to be a previous resistance back from June 27th, and this is also a previous support back from mid-March. If Tesla were able, guys, to make this push to the upside, I don't think that is going to happen tomorrow. It is unlikely, even though you guys know that Tesla is an unpredictable stock. This would imply a push to the upside of almost 11%. This is something that, with good volume and momentum, Tesla could be easily doing in a matter of 1 or 2 trading sessions. However, and since we have the Federal Reserve on Wednesday, if this support, this is a very important area in technical terms, guys, $224, if this support happens to be taken out by the bears, we have room down to $210. $210 is a previous support back from mid-June. So this area, this spot, this pivot, by the way, speaking about a pivot, but this is a realistic pivot. So in the case of Tesla, $224 is going to be very critical, either as a support before Tesla goes higher, or maybe as a support that, in case of being taken out by the bears, could let Tesla drop something like $14. This would be a beautiful short, guys, down to $210. In the case of Tesla, Tesla is still dealing with a major downtrend. We can see a downward slope in 200-day moving average. also a downward sloping 100-day moving average. You guys know that for the most part, tech stocks don't haven't been having good momentum as of now because we are seeing some sort of rotation into cyclical and value stocks. So it depends. I think that if maybe Powell happens to sound very dovish on Wednesday, maybe Tesla would have could have an appointment with $250 per share. Let me take a look, by the way, guys, at the market structure of Tesla. I haven't taken a look at it. Let me see what the demand and the supply of Tesla is looking like. Okay, so you logged me out. Okay, let me see TSLA. This is a very important part of my technical analysis, guys. The market structure of any given stock. In the case of Tesla, we have a market structure of 5 out of 10, and we have a demand that is above the supply. So this market structure is looking pretty decent, guys. So don't be surprised if we see Tesla consolidating slightly above $224 and maybe filling this gap up to $250. Don't be surprised if that happens. We also have a previous support at around $240. This is a previous support back from late September. That could also be a layover on the way up to $250 per share. Tairika, SOFI, Palantir, please. Absolutely, guys. Wow, I have a bunch of requests over here. Let's go over these stocks. SOFI, they are posting earnings tomorrow. Is any of you guys gambling on earnings on SOFI? Come on, speak the truth, guys. So SoFi went down today 0.18% and it closed the trading session at $5.44. The bulls have started to consolidate slightly above $5.30. This is an important spot, guys. $5.30 is a previous resistance back from mid-October, and this is also a previous support back from mid-June. So I'm thinking, and this is a stock that has been posting very decent earnings lately. If the report that they post tomorrow happens to be positive, the next important spot is going to be this downward sloping 100-day moving average at around $6. And if SoFi happens to post way better than expected earnings, then, and if this 100-day moving average happens to be taken out, we could see SoFi climbing up to $7. $7 is a previous resistance back from late August. The RSI of SoFi is sitting at 54 points. So if SoFi weren't posting earnings tomorrow, guys, I would tell you, okay, watch out for SoFi consolidating slightly above $5.30. If that were the case, we have room up to the downward sloping 100-day moving average around $6. But obviously, whatever happens with SoFi tomorrow is going to depend on whatever the company reports tomorrow pre-market. Let me see. Take a look at this, guys. So on its last earnings report, SoFi went on an absolute tear. Second to last earnings report it also went on an absolute tear. Three earnings reports ago, it also went on an absolute tear, and four earnings reports ago, it also went on an absolute tear. So the stock of this company has been or has gone higher in four out of its latest um, four earnings reports. So, I mean, yeah, this company seems to be doing everything pretty well. But obviously, the economy is slowing down and stuff. So, a fact that I am personally concerned about when it comes to SoFi is the fact that they have a huge payroll, guys. This is a $5 billion company, market cap wise, and this company has something like 3,000 employees. And you guys know that the wages have been going higher. And as far as I know, SoFi hasn't announced any layoffs and stuff like that. So I'm concerned about the profit margins of SoFi because they haven't laid off anyone. And this company has 3,000 employees, and this is still being a small cap company with a market cap of 5 billion employees. So that is something that I am a bit concerned about. So let's see what happens tomorrow. Let's see if the report comes out better than expected and watch out for a possible push to the upside up to $6 or maybe $7. Why not? But this is not a good looking chart either, guys, by any stretch of the imagination. A major downtrend, downward sloping 200-day moving average. So you guys get the point. Everything depends on the report that is coming out tomorrow. There you go. I don't do earnings, but if I did, I would take calls. Guys, keep in mind if you want to gamble, and mind you, full disclosure, a bit before the closing bell, I purchased 300 shares of Uber. I think, you guys know that Uber is posting earnings tomorrow pre market. I am bullish on the company. I think that they are going to post that they are very likely to post a very decent report. However, I didn't buy calls. If you guys buy calls before earnings, the implied volatility is very high. So you are going to be paying big bucks for options, either puts or calls. And after any given company posts earnings, the implied volatility drops significantly. That's what we call IV crash, implied volatility crash. And if that happens, then your calls or your puts are going to be losing a lot of money. In the given case that the earnings report doesn't go in your favor, that the report of the or that the reaction of the markets doesn't go on the way that you were waiting for. So don't. My advice is, first of all, don't gamble on earnings. So that's a casino. We never know what could happen. And if you want to gamble on earnings, then either sell puts, which is a win-win strategy, or buy shares. And if the trade doesn't go in your favor, then maybe you can sell covered calls. But bottom line, guys, please avoid gambling on earnings. And if you do so, then either sell puts or buy shares, and do not buy a lot of shares, obviously. So it isn't recommendable at all. Palantir, Jermaine Smith. Let me take a look. I haven't taken a look at Palantir in quite a long time. Let me see Palantir here. Palantir. It went up today 1.74%, and it closed the trading session at $8.79. Kind of a decent short. Palantir is still in a primary downtrend. We can see over here a downward sloping move, downward sloping 200-day moving average. And the bulls are about to make a test of a very important spot, guys, the 100-day moving average at $8.73. So the RSI on the 4-hour chart is sitting at 62 points. Really healthy from a technical standpoint. We can make the case that Palantir is neither oversold nor overbought. So watch out for a burst above this area, 100-day moving average. That would be a burst above $9 per share. If that were to happen, we can make the case that the bulls might be able to fill the next important gap up to $9.50. This is a previous support back from late February. If this were the case, even if we happen to pick up some shares of Palantir slightly above $9, and if we happen to write them up to $9.50, this would be an 8% profit. Wow, that would be a very solid trade. So let me zoom in here. And the bull, take a look at this 100-day moving average, guys. So the bulls have failed right at this moving average on one occasion, that was today, 2, 3, and 4 occasions recently. So this is a major resistance. And by the way, they managed to close the trading session today above. Now that I zoom in, I can notice that they closed the trading session today slightly above the 100-day moving average. We can see a rising 5-day moving average, which is also a very positive sign. So it looks like the bulls are off to the races here, guys. So if this support of, let's say, $8.80 happens to be held in tomorrow's trading session, watch out for a push higher up to $9.50. This might be a likely scenario. The RSI is at 62 points, so I'm going to put Palantir down on a sticky note because the chart is starting to look a bit interesting, even though we are seeing a major downtrend and we have a downward sloping 200-day moving average, but definitely buyers have shown up over here. Let me take a look at the market structure of PLTR. Let's see what the demand and supply is looking like. So Palantir Technologies, let me see. What do we have over here? This is a very decent market structure, guys. 8 out of 10. And take a look at how we have a rising demand that is about to burst above the demand. So we have buyers definitely showing up. And yeah, this stock is going to be definitely tomorrow on my watch list. So thank you very much for this suggestion, for this request, Jermaine Smith. Very good, bro. Thank you very much. Is it bouncing time for Nicola? Do you want me to? Do you really want me to go over Nicola, bro? That's a waste of time, man. In my opinion, I don't mind going over Nicola, but wow, I think that they recently acquired Romeo Energy. I think, right? If I recall, if I remember correctly, yeah. This wow, this is a strong candidate for puts, guys. Take a look at how the Bulls failed today. The 180 SMA. This stock went up today 18%. Did we have any good news about Nicola? Nicola stock surges following State partnership. Here's yeah, there was apparently good news about Nicola. I don't know what's the news about, but the stock of this company is extremely overextended. Take a look at the RSI on the 4-hour chart. It is sitting at 79 points. I don't know, guys. This is not a stock that I am going to be touching by any stretch of the imagination. However, I don't know if something crazy happens. If I don't know if maybe a short squeeze happens to unfold over here. If the bulls can take out this 50-day moving average, this downward sloping, by the way, 50-day moving average near $4.20, they, I don't know, maybe can they fill this other gap up to the downward sloping 100-day moving average, $5.08? I don't know. But this is a very ugly looking chart regardless, guys. Primary downtrend. We can see a downward sloping 200-day moving average, downward sloping 100-day moving average. So we just saw some sort of, I don't know, maybe gamma squeeze or maybe a short squeeze. But this stock is very overextended. Take a look at the RSI and the 4-hour chart at 79 points. So if the bulls fail tomorrow at $3.80, 180 SMA on the 4-hour chart, this might be a candidate for puts. This is not a stock that I am going to be buying puts on. But I'm just saying, um, yeah, this stock is very overextended over here. So please stay away from Nikola Motors. Thanks for the SOFI analysis. Anytime, bro. I am really concerned about SOFI's report tomorrow. This company has been killing it. This is a very successful company. I think that they are doing things the right way. But they, as I just told you, bro, 3,000 employees. They haven't laid off anyone, and the economy is slowing down. So I am a bit concerned about profit margins tomorrow. I am going to be keeping a close watch on that metric once the report comes out. Any thoughts on CBS and MRO? I think that MRO is posting earnings this week. Is it Marathon Oil? They post earnings on Thursday, I think, right? Yeah, on the 3rd of November. So Marathon Oil, everything oil related, guys. I just showed you the sectors of the markets. Everything oil related went on a tear today. So Marathon Oil went up today 0.96% and it closed the trading session at $30.45. So very, very good looking short. We have a rising 5-day moving average. Marathon Oil is above the 200-day moving average, 100-day moving average. We have a rising 50 SMA on the 4-hour chart. The stock of this company isn't overextended, despite the fact that we can see a clear uptrend. We can see the RSI sitting at 56 points on the 4-hour chart. So this rising 5-day moving average is going to be critical over here, guys. $30. If Marathon Oil happens to consolidate slightly above $30, and obviously if you guys happen to see oil pushing higher as well, because whenever you are about to take a trade, guys, on any oil related stock, you need to monitor oil. There's no other option, guys. Please keep that in mind. Just as I have told you before, that if you are going to take a trade with a semiconductor stock such as Nvidia or AMD, you need to monitor SMH, the semiconductors ETF. So in the case of Marathon Oil, please keep a close watch on either XLE, which happens to be the energy ETF, or oil. You can track maybe Brent, the Brent or Brent oil, the ticker symbol /BZ. So, going back to the chart of Marathon Oil, if this stock happens to consolidate slightly above $30, a very good sign because the bulls might be gathering momentum in order to make another push higher and maybe being able to fill this next gap up to $32.66. This is a previous resistance back from early June. This would be a how much trade? This would be a, let me see over here, guys. This would be a 7% profit trade. Wow, this would be a beautiful trade. Very good looking chart. Most of the oil companies are killing it on earnings. They are having a phenomenal year. So When it comes to the possible reaction of the markets in regard to the earnings report, I don't know if medicine oil would be trading slightly above the 5-day moving average. I could be potentially thinking about grabbing some shares into the earnings report. However, guys, if marathon oil is way above $30, I think that this might be some sort of all-time high, right? Is it? Let me see. No, it is an all-time high, but I don't know. Above $32, I wouldn't be. I would be concerned about profit taking after the report comes out. But slightly above $30, I could give it a thought. To be fairly honest with you. Let me take a look at the market structure of methanol. It gotta be looking pretty pretty well, I think. Let me see. So demand and supply of methanol. Let me see, guys. Take a look at this beautiful market structure, guys. 10 out of 10. We have a rise in demand that is way above the demand. Sorry, we have a rise in demand that is way above the supply. So yeah, methanol seems to be off to the races if this 5-day moving average happens to be held as support. Anytime, Jermaine. Absolutely. Also, McDonald's. Thanks, Big Dog. Anytime, bro. We're here to help. Okay. Let me see. MCD McDonald's. So McDonald's. Let me see. Wow, McDonald's has been on a tear, guys. MCD. Oh, that's MDC. MCD. Let me see. McDonald's Corporation. There you go. Take a look at this. Very overextended, guys. This is a beautiful. This is a beautiful chart. We have a clearly clear rising 5-day moving average. So McDonald's is above all the moving averages. We also have a rising 200-day moving average, a rising 100-day moving average. But this stock is very overextended, guys. I would shut it, to be fairly honest with you, near $274. Take a look at the RSI, 75 points. So yeah, take a look, guys. So McDonald's is extremely far away from home base. When I say home base, I am talking about the moving averages. So the stock of this company is due for some sort of pullback. If that were the case, I might be thinking, so I wouldn't be chasing it here. However, if McDonald's happens to pull back down to $267, this is a previous resistance back from mid-August. Remember, guys, that previous resistances act as a new support. So if I happen to see a pullback down to $267, and if this previous resistance happens to act as a new support, then I might be thinking about grabbing shares, because if that were the case, the bulls could be getting in momentum above a former area of resistance in order to make another push higher and fill once again to the upside this gap up to $275. So this would be something like a 3% profit trade. So wow, unbelievable, guys. The short of McDonald's. So obviously, we can make the case that regardless of the fact of a recession potentially taking place in the U.S., people are still going to be buying food at McDonald's, no doubt about it. I think that, I don't know, like McDonald's, maybe Bojangles. So those are companies that offer very cheap fast food. And yeah, the markets are rewarding McDonald's based on that belief, right? That this company is going to be doing pretty well, regardless of the fact that we go into a recession here in the US. So very, very good looking chart. I guess that the market structure gotta be, I'm thinking, guys, 10 out of 10, most likely. Let me pull it up over here. MCD. McDonald's Corporation. So what's the market structure looking like? Yeah, obviously, guys, take a look at this market structure. This chart doesn't lie, guys. Take a look, 10 out of 10, the market structure sentiment, and we have a rise in demand that is way above the supply. Very good looking chart. So taking into account the market structure, I think that McDonald's, if it happens to pull back, I am not chasing this stock over here. If it happens to pull back, $267 is very likely to provide good support, and then we can see the stock of this company climbing back up to $274. Apple International, that absolutely, bro. Let me go ahead and take a look at Apple. Full disclosure, guys, I am shorting Apple. Full disclosure, today we got news. So apparently, COVID-19 lockdowns in China are potentially affecting iPhone's production In China, we got bad news. The earnings report of Apple wasn't positive, so I am shorting this stock. And I think that based on the earnings report that we got on Thursday, I think that the stock of this company has an appointment with lower prices. Take a look at how Apple fell today and on Friday, for that matter, right at this downward sloping 200-day moving average. So this is quite telling, no doubt about it, at around $157. So Apple is between two very important areas. So I just told you guys a downward sloping 200-day moving average and the 100-day moving average, which, by the way, happens to coincide with a rising 5-day moving average. So what do I want to say with that, guys? That if this support of $151 happens to be taken out by the bears, bearish momentum is very likely to kick in. So if the support happens to be taken out, I'm thinking, and this is my price target when it comes to the short position that I opened today, I think that Apple has an appointment with $144. $144 is a previous resistance back from mid-October, and this is also a previous support back from early June. This is my plan. This is my fight plan, my flight plan, or my fight plan. You can also make that case when it comes to Apple. So, in terms of my stop loss, guys, I am going to be keeping a close watch on this 200-day moving average because if the bulls happen to be able to take it out, then they might be able to fill this gap up to $164, which happens to be a previous resistance back from mid-September. So if any of you wants to take a trade to the upside, watch out for Apple bursting above $157 because in that case, we have room up to $164. This would be a 5% profit trade. And if any of you guys wants to join me in this short position against Apple, watch out for any failed attempt at bursting above this downward sloping 200-day moving average near $157. Because if that's the case, then the stock of this company is still being a short, in my humble opinion. The RSI is sitting at 58 points, very healthy from a technical standpoint. Apple is neither oversold nor overbought, so it could be going either way. Let me take a look at the market structure of Apple. So what is it looking like? Let me see. There you go. No, this is another Apple. I need the fruit, bro. Give me Apple. There you go, Apple in. Okay. Let me see. And we have a very decent market structure sentiment, 10 out of 10, and we have a demand that is way above the supply. But the supply is rising, guys, so we can make the case that sellers are about to show up, or at least that's what I am hoping for. In the case of Apple, CVS, Tina Greer, absolutely. What's up, Sharon? What's up, guys? We have a bunch of people on board today, guys. I love it. Thank you very much for joining me today. CVS Health. So it went up today 0.54% and it closed the trading session at $94.70. I think we got bad news recently, but I think that CVS was about to purchase some sort of hospital in Miami, guys, Cato Health. That I think that deal didn't go through, and that's the reason why CVS, was it CVS or was it another company? I don't remember, guys. Whatever. I think that it was CVS. So since they are not purchasing that hospital chain, by the way, in Miami, in Florida, then the stock is going back up. So $95.30 is a very important spot. We can see the RSI on the 4-hour chart at 59 points. So CVS we can make the case that the RSI is at a healthy spot. $95 is a previous resistance back from late October. This is also a previous resistance back from late June and also a previous support back from early May. So watch out for a process of consolidation of CVS, guys, slightly above this area. Previous support, previous resistance, very important spot. If the bulls can start to consolidate slightly above $95, that might be a sign that they are gathering momentum in order to fill this very important next gap up to $98. $98 is a previous support back from early April and also a previous support back from late February. However, for the bulls, in order to be able to fill this gap, they are going to have to take out two very important areas, guys. 100-day moving average at around $96 and 50-day moving average at around $97. So we have a bunch of resistance over here. But if the bulls happen to pull up on good volume and momentum, and they are able to take out these moving averages, yeah, we could see easily CVS climbing back up to $98. This would be a 3.5% profit trade. So this is a short that is starting to look acceptable. We have a rising 50 SMA on the 4-hour chart. We have a rising 5-day moving average. The RSI is sitting at a very healthy spot. However, we still see over here a downward sloping 200-day moving average. So watch out for the support at $95. This is a very important spot, guys. If this support happens to be taken out, we might be grabbing puts, and if it happens to be held as support, we can see CVS going higher. Let me take a look at the market structure of CVS. Let me see over here, CVS Health Group. And 10 out of 10, we have a demand that is above the supply, but that is starting to decrease. So watch out for this support at around $95 per share. Very important spot, no doubt about it. Health food, Sol International. Yeah, health food. I am vegetarian, bro. So let's talk about healthy food. Okay, ENPH, absolutely. By the way, I had ENPH on my watch list today on Patreon, guys, and this area around $307 is so important, guys. Take a look. So ENPH went up today, not much, 0.57%, and it closed the trading session right at $307. Unbelievable. Okay. So in the case of ENPH, guys, this spot, $307, is extremely, but I mean extremely critical. So the RSI is sitting at 68 points, a bit elevated, nothing crazy. We know that when the stock of this company trades on good volume and momentum, the RSI can go way higher than 68 points. So what's my plan when it comes to ENPH tomorrow? This is a stock that is always, but always on my watch list. If the bulls can consolidate tomorrow slightly above $307, I think that there's room up to $324, which is the all-time high, and it is a former resistance back from mid-September and previous or the current all-time high for the stock back from early September. If we were able to take this trade from $307 ish up to $324, this would be a 5% profit trade. Nothing just needs that. And watch out for $307 if this area of this support, because end phase closed right at $307. So if this former resistance back from August and September happens to be taken out by the bears, we might have room to the downside down to $294, 5-day moving average, which by the way is rising. So it is a very important spot in support terms or support wise. So this is my plan on end phase, $307 happens to hold that support. We can push higher up to $324. And if this support happens to be taken out, I think that this is a short down to $294 per share. And let me take a look at the market structure of ENPH before wrapping it up. Before wrapping it up, guys, I still need to film a video in Spanish. I have been live streaming throughout the whole training session for my patrons, so I am very tired. 8 out of 10. Yeah, this is a very decent market structure for ENPH. We have a rise in demand that is above the supply, and on top of that, the supply is starting to flatten out, guys. So I think that if $307 happens to be held as support, the stock of this company is very likely to be off to the races in tomorrow's trading session. So, okay, American Airlines, last stock. This is going to be the last stock that I am going to be going over, guys, before I wrap it up. American Airlines goes up today 1.28%, closes the trading session at $14.18. Airline stocks have been doing pretty well. And over here, we can see American Airlines consolidating above the 100-day moving average. We can also see a rising 5-day moving average, very bullish in short-term wise. So keep a close watch on $14. $14 represents this rising 5-day moving average. If the bulls can consolidate slightly above $14, they might be gathering momentum. in order to fill this very important gap up to the downward sloping 200-day moving average. However, the fact that this downward, the fact that we can see over here a downward sloping 200-day moving average is not a good sign for the birds. Sorry, for the bulls. This is implying that the sellers are still in control of this technical chart in major time frames, which are more important than minor time frames. But uh, trend changes start from minor time frames and they move over major time frames. So, yeah, the sellers are still in control over here, major time frames wise. However, buyers already started to show up over here. So, if we are able to take this trade from 14 bucks ish, if this 5-day moving average happens to be held as support up to $15.49, this would be an 8% profit trade. And this is a push to the upside that could actually happen, guys. Take a look at the RSI of American Airlines. It is sitting at 59 points, very healthy from a technical standpoint. American Airlines is neither oversold nor overbought. I can also see over here, guys, a golden cross, which is a bullish signal. You guys can see this 50 SMA crossing above the 180 SMA on the 4-hour chart. So this is a very interesting technical chart. And let me take a look at the market structure of American Airlines. Let me see over here. What is it looking like? Sellers and buyers. Very good market structure, guys. Take a look. You guys know that the blue shaded region is the demand and the, I don't know, purple shaded region is the supply. So we have a rising demand that is way above the supply. So watch out for this 14 bucks 5-day moving average. This is a very important spot for American Airlines. And I got to wrap it up, guys. Yeah, I got to go. I still need to. Hey, bro, may you please share your. Okay. Micaela says. Okay. So thank you very much for coming over, guys. I really appreciate the fact that we can share thoughts and talk about the markets live on Mondays. Remember that on Thursday, I am going to be live streaming for you with my friend Mario, with our friend Mario. So stay tuned. Take high probability trades. Please don't gamble on earnings and don't gamble. Sorry, guys, on earnings. And that's it, guys. So thank you very much. I will see you. We're going to be in touch, obviously, in the main chat of Chris. And I will see you live once again on Thursday, along with my friend Mario. So take care, guys. And thank you very much for joining me. Bye bye. Take care. Good luck. Happy Halloween. Go trick or treating. Get some candies. Bye bye.